Hey. Hey lil' mama, would you like to be my sunshine? Nigga, touch my game, we gon' turn this shit to Columbine. Ice on my neck, cost me 10 times.
Right guys, this is the start of the lockdown restoration job that I've got to be doing on my Spitfire here behind me. It's a little bit dark in here, so I'll do my best to light it as I can go. I'm just going to update you stages really, so you can see a bit better. So where I'm currently at the moment, can you see in there? Yeah, so what I've currently done is I've got all the seats out, the carpets out, and I'm getting ready to make sure that I can separate the tub, the body from the chassis, and then that goes away and gets welded. So I've got stuff to do. It needs bracing on the inside, needs all the bolts taken off, which is not a problem. Obviously take the wiring out, steering column, handbrake cable, that sort of clutch cylinder and stuff, and take the pedals out. I've got a bit of a checklist somewhere, and I've also got a decent old manual. So what I've just done as well is, before I wanted to progress really, I wanted to see if I could get this up and running. So the first thing I've done is I've just checked for spark, and I've got a really good fat spark, even though the plugs look really dirty and stuff. So I'm gonna just set off and clean the plugs now, and take them all out, give them a clean. I've already confirmed spark. I'll show you from the video. I managed to wedge my phone in somewhere, and so I could, you know, work on you, and that's all you can do in it. You've got to watch back. So but fingers crossed, I may have it fired today, and then that just gives me a bit more hope to carry on down this project. So like I said, I've got a guy who's going to do the welding, and he's going to document it for me as well. It's not like I can go over and help. He's a little one-man band, takes one vehicle in at a time. So he's come and had a look at it. He's given me a baseline of what it could cost, so we're all good with that. I just need to crack on now and get it stripped down. So I've got to get it to the point where hopefully at the end of this lockdown in December, because he's due to take it at some point mid-December or maybe January, I don't know, but it should be then ready for him to come and collect, and it just needs some bodies then to hike it off, and then once it's there for a month, I can crack on and do some work on the chassis, make sure that's all up and running and treated, and paint anything's underneath from the calipers, and you know, just some fancy tarty bits really. Yeah. Sorry for that. So I'll show you around the rust again as we get going. I'll do it when I've got my head torch, so you can have a good look, but you can see what needs replacing. If you've seen any of my other videos on this, it's basically all the floor pans are knackered, sills need replacing, inner, outer, and the strengtheners and the end caps. The floor bead valance wants replacing, and the rear valance wants replacing. So and whilst it's off as a tub, I'm tempted to get me inner rear sills, inner rear arches, sorry, done. Whilst it's off, it's I don't know what it's like for the damage on them, so we'll have to just wait and see. It could be repairable, so I'm going to hold off buying them until he's got it, or he can come and inspect it a little bit further. So got me axle stands in another set somewhere in my house, I think, so I'm going to get it up on axle stands and get underneath it and start spraying stuff down, and have to mess about and see if I can get it running. So in a bit, guys. Right guys, so I've had the plugs out, given them all a good clean. I've put a little bit of two-stroke down in each barrel as well, so hopefully with a bit of luck we might get somewhere. So weird procedure on this. Let me just stop, and I'll switch you around, and then you can see from the other perception. I'll just knit this in. Boosh. Right, so I'll most probably have to do the alarm. Hopefully that's good. There was a little switch there that's like a dead man's switch. Took me ages to find that. Ooh. Did you hear that, guys? Might need a bit more fuel, but we had a spark there. Something fired. Right, let's have a gander at one of these plugs, shall we? and see. Let's get this one out. Oh, bear with me a sec, guys. So just doing this one-handed whilst holding the camera. I'm sure you'll appreciate. So let's have a look and see if plug's proper piss wet through. See what I mean? The plugs are really black as fuck, but they did fire and they did spark. But I think we'll give it another do at that and see what happens. I did put some fuel. I took the fuel balls, float balls off at the side. There, can you see them? That little T thing there. So I did take them off before, and I put some fuel in there. But whether the actual carbs need a fucking clean as well, they also be do. You also need a quick fettle to make sure all the needles aren't blocked. So we'll just tighten this up a bit. Great thing about these cars is you can just work on them with a fucking spatula virtually. So let's go and try that again. We know it's fuel in there and the plugs are wet. It might just be the case of like, let's see if we'll give it some choke as well. See. Looks like I'm gonna have to charge my batteries anyway. Right, so I'm a little bit further on down the line. Look, can you see? There's all holes in floor. But I've got some guy to weld it. I mean, majority of it's pretty good, but this is all coming out and being replaced. Same with the sills. And in the boot as well, if you can see there, boot and rear valance needs doing. So right, so I think I'm gonna crack on doing a bit more stuff, get it up on maybe axle stands, front and rear. Once I find maybe axle stand, I don't know where I put it, maybe in my house somewhere. And basically, I know I'm good. I heard that thing then fired. I think I've either flooded it but to hear that combustion bang, that was good. So I'm going to carry on getting ready to strip the thing out even more. Peace in a bit. Right guys, so a little bit further now. Got it up on axle stands, front and rear, I don't know if you can see it, but we've got it up off the ground now. Gives me a chance to get underneath it and start giving some WD to some of these bolts so the thing can come off. And you know, have a look at some of this, what can be done. Might need repairing, so but that's something that could be done once the body's back on. It's not a problem, that. So they're quite low, these, off the ground, so I had to jack it up on this point here, the strongest point I could find, and then use this bit of wood to get underneath it and hold it up on the chassis so I could get the trolley jack under, because they are quite low. But we got there in the end. So yeah, time to start spraying in a bit, guys.